Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason, as always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge.
What up, dog?
I see you're wearing your hoodie today.
Yeah, it's cold in the office.
This office is freaking freezing.
This office
is freezing.
But like I went out for a run this morning, and so there's like your body has like an internal clock, right?
Yeah.
My body, I played football for so long. My body is, as soon as that like first like fall bite comes, my body's like getting ready for football season.
So it's ready.
I felt that fall bite a little bit, went for that run, and it's like, it's time to get ready.
It's time to get ready. You got a fight coming up in a few weeks.
5 weeks.
That doesn't seem very far away.
No, it'll be my quickest turnaround.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
But it's like build on like the momentum, the success, like, everything's good. Like,
Kai, I got your message, Kai. I'm going to message you right after this. We'll get you scheduled, brother.
What's up, Kai?
What a fun weekend.
Dude, we had a blast this weekend.
That was so real quick freaking fun.
Can we do story hour right here?
Yeah, story hour.
So as many of you may know, I own a car detailing business, Detail Sharks. Should give us a call. We had a minivan, and I've always said the $1 million idea is a YouTube channel called Effed Up Minivans.
Yeah.
Because they're always trashed. No offense to anybody out there who drives a minivan, but mom minivans, soccer cars, it's bad news bears. We got somebody, Kate, their child urinated in the car. Our detailers cleaned it anyways.
Oh, man.
It still stinks and they're mad. And then it was like, man. And then she wrote us a nasty review because she wasn't happy. And then
the husband called.
And then the husband and her both called and left voicemails. And it's like about how upset they were. And then she said, my car wasn't that bad. Fortunately, our detailers take before pictures. And
it's bad.
Jason, you've been in the car industry for a while. How bad was the car?
A long time. And this car looked like one of the repos that we've repossessed in the past.
It was foul.
Yeah.
And mind you, you can't even see the urine in the carpet from the kid pissing in the car. You can't see that. But on top of everything else, it's like, dude, this is, and they're mad.
Oh, they're mad.
And then they're mad that we replied to their review that, hey, sorry, there was piss in the car. Our detailers wanted hazmat suits to clean it. It was that gross.
I was here on Friday when the detailer called, and I heard him on the speakerphone. He said he did not want to touch the car.
Oh, my God.
He didn't want to touch it.
It was that gross.
Oh, it was crazy.
She gets mad, and she leaves us a voicemail this morning saying, it's not that bad. Well, it is. We got pictures, and there's still piss in the car.
Pee outside mostly passes.
Hey, Pat, that's a good call. We'll give them your number, and you can advise the kids that that's where you pee.
So I want to know, are you going to call out the husband for your next fight? Because he seemed a little hostile in the message. He doesn't sound like a fighter to me, but I don't want to assume anything because he may know some stuff.
You know what?
He may know some stuff.
I don't pick on nerds, and I would bet.
Why are you assuming he's a nerd? What if he's a killer?
What if he's a killer? You listen to the voicemail. You stop it right now, and he's not. He's a wiener. He's a killer. He's a weenie, and I would get. I mean, that's. I don't want to fight that guy.
Poor Sajan had to deal with it.
I mean, yeah. So Sajan, he's my business partner, and he's like my best friend, and we've been doing this for a long time, and this is one of the, the best part is we've learned and grown. We've just known about 2 to 3 times a year, some complete prick will give us their car and won't be happy no matter what.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Karen. You're one of those people. You're the Karen of the Detail Sharks this year. We had a horrible one last year. This is our 2021 version of Karen.
They were pretty fired up. Okay, can we talk about SteelFist now?
Yeah, it's story hour. It's just been going on.
Hey, okay, we had UFC fights. I don't even care about the UFC fights. We'll go over that at the end, but I just want to talk about the SteelFist fights because, one, this was my first time getting to commentate the fights.
That was so fun.
And I had so much freaking fun. A little nervous in the first one, so the first couple guys that I interviewed, I apologize. I was just so excited to be up there and
we
get to do it. Yeah, it was fun.
I'm going to start with this. I'd like to make a point.
Okay.
Social media has created a platform where people get to criticize other people.
100%. Yep.
I notice too much, and I might be guilty of this sometimes. I'm not saying that I'm totally immune from this, but
Yeah.
it's a little check to myself as well.
Yeah.
If you don't fight, probably shouldn't criticize fighters. If you don't coach, probably shouldn't criticize coaching. If you don't matchmake and promote, you probably don't know all that goes into that as well. Probably shouldn't be so critical of that as well.
Yeah.
If you don't commentate, maybe don't criticize the commentary.
Okay. I have been one to criticize the commentary.
Yeah, you have.
Especially like
Bisping's about to come mollywop you.
He's freaking horrible. But now having been on that other side of it, and
it's not so easy.
It's not as easy as you think it is. And I would have liked to think it was a little.
It's not as easy as I make it look, Jason.
That's true. You are the voice of MMA in Utah. I will say, I think I have a little bit of a leg up on most people that do it for the first time because we've talked to the majority of these guys that were fighting on this card.
And we already have give and take.
We already have the give and take. So that was easy. That flow was easy. But, you're still, everybody's watching.
Right.
The hardest part for me was the in-cage interviews. It's like, I know what I need to say, but I'm just like, stage fright.
I thought you did good.
It's because you went first. So I let you kind of line it up for me. You go first. You go first.
Well, and I was going to do it no matter what because we were hoping. I was hoping for a different result, but Hannah Banu was super.
And Kai gets the belt around his waist. That's about how it's going to be, Kai. Kai. No, dude, we're going to scream. I'm going to be pumped up, dude.
No, but here's the thing. I just don't think people understand. Like, I just don't think people understand. Like, when we go into these fights, we're fans, and like even if we do know these people,
yeah,
right? Like we called fights for what 4 or 5 of my teammates Saturday night. Even if we do know these people, I am bummed out for them.
Yeah,
if they lose, right? Especially that first fight, like I can get bummed out for them. But like, I don't. We literally weren't going into one fight where we were like openly like rooting for the other guy.
Yeah, we try to be as
because we're fans. We're fans of fights.
I will say from my perspective, it was easier for the guys that we had interviewed and we had talked to,
right?
Because there were some guys on the card that we hadn't talked to and I didn't really know their background. So of course it's easier for me to talk about another guy that we've had on the podcast and we have
for sure
we have that relationship with. But it's it's growing. I thought,
but it's not. But we're not. Here's the thing: I can honestly say I wasn't rooting against anybody on that card.
No.
Right? I wasn't rooting against anybody.
No.
Like I'm more rooting for good fights.
I mean, obviously we have our favorites, but I don't think we let on to that.
So Kai, stop it.
He's just giving us crap.
I know.
He's not a guy.
I know how Kai is now. At first I didn't, and I was
like, who is this dude? This guy?
Yeah, who's this Kai guy?
Who is this Kai guy?
I'm gonna feed him.
Kai has a great TikTok, by the way. You guys need to go follow Kai on TikTok. It's freaking hilarious.
We should, yeah. But anyways, no, it's all now it's fun. We get to know Kai a little bit, know what he's about, and he's all good. So keep it coming, Kai. Hey, as long as you can take it, I can take it. So keep dishing it. I'll dish it.
All right,
it's all good. All good in the hood.
We're gonna start with SteelFist fights because there's a lot to talk about, and since we had, other than Dave, we had some of the best seats in the house. We're right there on the cage.
Oh, we had the best seats, though.
So first fight of the night comes out, and it's a banger. We got Hara Banu, the Dark Diamond, fighting Amin Garcia, and that one ended with Banu first round rear naked choke on that one.
Yeah, and so Amin's one of my training partners, so I have a little bit more to say about this one. We both said it on the broadcast. I couldn't believe how composed both of these guys were.
Yeah,
Amin was so ready. He just got caught by a wild punch.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, he threw it, but it was kind of wild. But he threw it with so much like, hey, it's one of those things. It's like he threw it, and if it lands, boom. And that kid has so much charisma and put on a show. And then he said he's done after. That was a one and done for him.
I didn't get that. He did ask. He did say if the ladies liked hot chocolate to
That was dope.
To give,
Great.
That was
Great. But so I got a little more insight on him. So he's here on a student visa, so he can't work.
Ah.
So that's why he donated all of his ticket sales and stuff back to the Salt Lake City Muay Thai for upgrading their equipment and a charity.
Okay.
So that was cool. But, that was one where, I was bummed for Ammon because, one, I know how hard he worked for that. Two, Ammon is one of my best training partners. A lot like Tyler Billings, who we're going to talk about. Yeah. He was so ready for that, and to just get caught, it was just like an unlucky thing. Yeah. And I do not envy the poor sucker that signs up to fight an 0-1 guy. Yeah. They're like, oh, Ammon Garcia, he's 0-1. He got choked out in the first round. Yeah. Cool. I want to fight that guy. They're in for a nightmare because that dude, the kid, I cannot tell you, he's tough as nails. I'll admit it here. He's the last person to knock me out in the training room. Like the kid's tough. He has good boxing. He has good jiu-jitsu. And the other thing that I don't know if people will understand too, he gets rocked and then he fights off the choke for a good 20, 30 seconds really well. Like he did it really well. And I don't think people understand when you're rocked how hard that is. And so, I know I'm talking about my teammate there. And like Pat said, he's not done. And I'm really happy he's not done.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And he even said too, he's or is that talking about Banu?
Yeah, Banu. Yeah,
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I love it. Great. Like, let's get him back in the cage.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, he was charismatic and dude, he brought a fun walkout.
Kamaru Usman. He's from Nigeria. If you didn't hear him on the podcast.
Yeah, but he was fun but Ammon, and then I think Ammon said something about going down to 155 because he did not have to cut weight to be there at 170 either. So I think that would be I think that would be a good thing too. But Ammon's a freaking killer, and dude, that could happen to anybody. This Justin Gaethje said it best. The sport is so unforgiving. Yeah, when he knocked out James Vick, he's like, it's me or him. Like that's gonna happen to one of us. Yeah, and Ammon, the way he fights and will fight. He'll be in an opportunity where he gets to drop somebody and choke them out or put them out. Great fight.
Great fight to start off the night. The crowd was already going crazy. I do have to touch on, like, you don't see very many fights. We watch a lot of fights. I watch a lot of fights on my Amazon Fire Stick. I catch a lot of local fights from across the nation. Your first 4 or 5 fights on most of these cards are usually not very good. We're pretty blessed here in Utah that we have some higher level talent, in my opinion. These are great fights.
I think the growth in gyms, we've seen some new gyms pop up. Yeah. And their teams build, and then iron just sharpens iron. And I get all my confidence going into the cage because of who I train with. Yeah. And I'm sure that most other people share that opinion. Ammon and Banu, they both train with legit guys. Yeah.
Yeah, props to the Dark Diamond. Can't wait to see him back in. Next up, we had Jordan Gonzalez and Hector Martinez.
Good fight.
Another good fight. Jordan Gonzalez defeats Martinez by unanimous decision. Another great fight.
Hector showed so much heart in that fight. His leg was compromised from the first round.
Oh,
he just kept coming, man. Like he didn't slow down. He didn't stop. He kept coming, and it was a good learning experience for him.
Great learning. I think he's probably going to learn a lot from that, because you noticed in that fight when he was going forward and when he was being aggressive, I thought he was winning the fight. It's just maybe that leg was a little too compromised. I don't know what happened.
Good fight.
Great fight. Next up, we had Trent Lee, Mark Gonzalez. There was a lot of poundage in that. A lot of man in that cage. Trent's a big dude. Mark comes in there. Beautiful little. It was a left, right? You dropped him with the left.
Yeah, it was a little check hook.
A little check hook. First round TKO. I know personally how hard Mark's been working for this, because he's been working with me with his nutrition. Dropped a bunch of weight to get ready for this fight. Trent came up more experienced. Trent's had 5 fights. This was only Mark's second fight. So he takes on a bigger guy, more experienced guy, and he ends up landing a beautiful check hook. Got us off of our feet.
Yeah, no, that was good. I was happy for Mark because, man, so Mark's first fight, I was in his corner for his first fight. And, I felt for him because like he didn't fight to his potential in that fight, I would say. Like we all know that, Hector Martinez.
I didn't even realize
took that fight on like less than 2 weeks notice.
Few days notice and not in his weight class. So it's huge props to Martinez, man. He went 3 rounds. Yeah.
Hung tough.
He hung damn tough.
So yeah, that was cool. Another man. So if that's not his weight class, he's probably a 125er. Throw him into the mix with all those fun 125ers that we have at SteelFist.
Yeah.
But back to Mark, his first fight was so frustrating because I don't know what happened necessarily, but I knew he could perform better than that. I've seen a better version of Mark before that, and he had to improve some things. And he worked so freaking hard in the gym and outside of the gym to be his best self. And, preparation, like you say, you make your own luck. And that definitely wasn't it wasn't luck, but being prepared is what brings confidence. And man, he was confident. You could see it in his body language in there. And he was prepared for him to come forward. And if he comes forward, he threw that check hook beautifully and it landed and he had a good killer instinct, got right on him, didn't let him recover, didn't let, I was so happy for Mark and he freaking earned every bit of that 13-second knockout win.
I've never had anybody tell me they needed to stop losing weight during a weight cut, but Mark was just rolling so good that he needed to keep it super heavyweight because he was fighting a super heavyweight guy. So props to Mark.
Oh, cool.
Props to Trent for coming up in Vegas.
Hector's going to be on that October 23rd card too. That's freaking awesome.
Great.
Yeah. So, and you know what? Props to Trent. And I'll say this, we got, big shout out, Mark. Good job, man. We got so much, I don't know if it was hate, but criticism.
A lot of criticism.
Why with Trap, right? Because Trap Gambino was in Trent Lee's corner and everybody's like, why are you having this guy on? Why this and that? And, oh, he said this to me and he's done this and he's done that. Me and you've been around long enough, not just MMA, but just like in life, business world, like whatever. I learned a long time ago, let me make my own determination on who a guy is.
Yeah.
Because I definitely, some people like me, some people hate me. I would like people to meet me before they make their opinion of who I am.
Yeah, for sure.
So we gave Trap that same courtesy, and we both agreed. He's been nothing but respectful. Cool to us. Maybe. Gave us a nice little shout out on his Instagram. Yep. We hooked him up with some gear. I get why people don't like him.
Yeah.
We even talked about it on the podcast. You kind of see why you kind of rub people the wrong way.
He knew. Yeah.
And we have difference of opinion on fighting and entertainment versus competition.
For sure.
And we even said but dude, he can have a respectful conversation with somebody that has differing opinions.
Yep.
That's been my experience. All these haters just need to leave them alone and focus on themselves.
Yeah. Who do we got next? Next up, fight of the night, in my opinion. I think you agree too. Russell Souza and Brandon Ferreira.
Fight of the night.
Phenomenal fight. I mean, Russell, I thought in the first round Russell was going to have this fight in the bag because he just kept coming forward. He was picking Brandon apart. Brandon hadn't got his rhythm down yet in that first round. But, man, then the second round came, and Brendan starts getting the rhythm. He starts using his jab because Brendan was the longer, taller fighter. And he started hitting Russell with these 1-2s. Nasty 1-2. That probably would have dropped anybody else that this kid's fighting. And Russell just keeps walking forward.
Oh, 100%.
So it's 1-1 going into the third. And it's like, what's going to happen in the third? Russell ends up getting a couple takedowns, maybe controlled a little bit more. I think one judge actually had it a draw, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. But I thought one judge had it 28-28. I thought.
It was a split decision.
Yes.
Now, the judge to the right of us, I can't remember his name, he had the first round 10-8 for Souza, and he had the next round 10-8 for Brendan.
I could see that. I don't hate that.
No, I didn't hate it at all. And I was like, how often do you see a swing of 10-8 rounds? That fight was wild. And here's the other thing is amateurs, yeah.
These kids are amateurs.
Nobody took an L in that fight.
No.
That's not an L. Are you kidding me?
It's both of these guys' first fight.
MMA fights.
Both first MMA fights.
I know Russell's had kickboxing.
Yeah, Russell had a kickboxing. I know he spent some time over in Thailand too. Brendan's
a monster.
He's a monster. I had Joel message me asking how he's doing because he trains with Koa with Bobby King. And you could see a little bit of Bobby in there in that second round.
Oh,
when he started getting the bounce in his step.
Oh, yeah.
That kid's got a bright future too, man.
And in the past, I've been a little critical of Bang Muay Thai because I don't think it's for everybody. It doesn't fit everybody's style. But what Bobby's doing, and I think he's doing a fantastic job of, is he gets these athletes that are athletic that can do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't say it as a criticism because of whatever. Like, I'm not athletic enough it doesn't fit me well.
Yeah.
But you get a Bobby King, you get a Joel Haro, you get a like Brendan Ferreira. Like these kids are long and athletic, good bounce, good movement and stuff like that. Like it's a beautiful style for those guys. It's like I said, it's maybe not be for everybody, but it's beautiful for those guys.
Yeah.
And he executes it. He executed beautifully. It just took him about a round to figure out his timing and his distance.
Yeah.
And to figure it out after the shots he took in the first round that's incredible.
For a guy, and we've talked about this on the podcast too, that forward pressure, when somebody's forward pressuring you like that,
it's so hard.
And you got a young kid in his first fight. He handled that. I mean, props to Brendan, props to Russell on an amazing fight. I can't wait to see both those guys back in there. Next up, we had Mason Moyes against Elias Landau. Elias was unable to answer the bell for the third round. I guess there's a little bit of a backstory there. I guess he has a little bit of a medical condition. Maybe
he posted on it after we fought. And Elias, if you're watching, forgive me. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it has something to do with his blood pressure or his blood sugar or whatever. And it just kind of crashed on him at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I don't know, but here's the fact, plain and simple. They both thought that they were the better grappler, and I think Mason showed that he's the better grappler.
Once he got
overall in the cage. If Elias could have gotten a top position, it would have been interesting to see.
CPT2 is what he had. That's what it is.
CPT2. Thanks, Elias. It would have been interesting if Elias could have gotten in a top position, what kind of work he could have done from the top.
Yeah.
But you got to give credit to Mason. He didn't allow himself to get in a bad position. Really. So, Mason or he did at one point, right? Mason on his back at one point? No. I think Mason pretty much, once he got on top, he pretty much stayed when
on
it went
top.
to the ground, he was on top. Well, I mean, regardless,
he got his back. Yeah. It's a metabolic condition, he said.
That's right. So that's right. Yep.
He did get his
Elias
back.
Was on his back. That was what I was talking about. But Mason did a really good job defending the choke, and it was a fun fight, and it was a good one for Mason. He just had a couple fights, and Elias, you can never count out somebody with that much experience.
Oh,
and so Elias has been in the SteelFist cage. He's got to be top 5 or 10 of most people to ever fight in that cage. Got 12 appearances now. I don't know too many more people that have double-digit SteelFist appearances.
I don't think there's anybody currently fighting that has that many right now.
So, I mean, there's that. Mason, I choke you all the time, but no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. No, Mason, he executed his game plan, and it was good. It was a good fight. It was a good win for Mason, and hopefully Elias can work on some things, and see him. I'm sure we'll see him back in there.
Like both those guys, I'm sure they'll be back in there.
Mason retired.
Oh, did he retire?
After.
Oh, I totally missed that. I was talking. Must have been
chatting
bumping
it up.
my gums, probably.
Chatting it up. Yeah, Mason says he's done, which is all good.
Next up, we had Cole Faust defeating Calvin Perrington. Second round rear naked choke. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast. First of all, props to Calvin for coming up from Vegas. Super short notice fight when nobody was taking that fight with Cole.
including Kai Stewart.
including Kai Stewart. including Kai Stewart.
Sorry, Kai, I had to.
So Calvin comes up here. If you guys saw the face-off pictures, he's the bigger man. He's a big man, and he knew it. You could see it in the face-off. He was confident. He was not coming up to Salt Lake City to lose.
So you said that. The first thing Hunter told me, he goes, yeah, the guy that Jason kept saying he's not coming up here to lose. Yeah, he lost.
He lost.
Hunter said that. That was the first thing Hunter told me Sunday morning.
You could see though that
tough,
he's confident. I mean, he had experience. The guy had 12 fights. Super nice guy. Got to meet him. Got to talk to him a little bit. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast because I think he's going to be fighting again in October, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Said he was supposed to be. Yeah, man, Cole is just Cole, man. The kid is something special. The kid is something special. I mean, you're fighting a grown man outside of your weight class, and to stay composed, I just can't say enough good things about him, man.
He checks all the boxes. That was a big fight for him. I had somebody tell me they didn't like this fight for him. They're like, this might be a little bit too much, and he's not sticking in his weight class, and that's not the game plan, and it's not this, and it's not that. I said, no, this is exactly what Cole needs.
Yeah.
Right? He needs somebody that isn't just a quick, like no offense to the other guy that was supposed to fight him on short notice.
Yeah.
I think Cole runs through that guy in less than a round. Right? And he got somebody that was big and strong and experienced. Had good, he wrestled, so he had that wrestling experience.
Background.
Muay Thai fight, so he had some striking experience. He was game to be on the feet with Cole. He landed some nice shots on Cole. They were in the clinch, and they were both trading nasty knees right to the body.
Too. Yeah,
and it was like, that was good for Cole to experience. His last fight wasn't a walk in the park either against Joey.
No, he's had two tough guys.
It just ended in epic fashion. But Cole means it when he said he'll fight anybody. Like, he'll fight anybody. And he went up a weight class on short notice. Dude, he was already on track to make weight. He was 160 pounds. Dude, that guy, he was easily north of 180. He easily had 20 pounds on.
I was standing next to him backstage before the fight, and I'm like, oh, I was nervous.
He was bigger than me.
Calvin's a big guy.
He's a big guy. And then I think it was surprising for Calvin that when Calvin got a hold of him, that he couldn't take him down. And
Faust, look at Pat dropping some gems for us. Look at that. Sprinkle us.
Well,
12-17 championship coming, baby.
Yeah. Cole posted he's ready for December. So
I'm impressed. I'd actually like to see Calvin back because his normal weight class is 155. So maybe you give him a full camp, get him back in there with somebody, and I'd actually like to see him back in there.
Calvin versus Joey at 155.
Pat, there you go, right there. I like it. They're both similar sized,
and they both want a rematch with Cole.
Pat, there you go. We just made a match for you for December.
Pat's probably way ahead of us. He's like, shut up, guys.
Yeah. Cole just showed how strong he was, Rod. I mean, he's a strong kid, man.
People
forget he's only 20 years old.
Cole's so strong. I mean, I grapple with him weekly. Like, he's so strong and people don't understand. But again, it's no secret. Like, Cole's like, he's somebody that, like I consider him one of my best teammates and training partners. Like, he's always there for me. I try to be there for him as much as I can, but he's like, he is quickly living up to everything that, he's set out to do. And he takes no shortcuts, doesn't make excuses, just shows up, chooses gum, and fights.
I love the gum chew. There's a lot of people that will look at the success of somebody like that, or people that are at that elite level, and they want to know what's different about him. Well, what's different is he lives this stuff. He lives it and breathes it. He wakes up, he trains, he's nutrition, his resting, everything. It's just the whole package, and that's hard to put together. And he puts it together. I
was so proud of him because I didn't worry. I mean, I had zero. I didn't worry about it. I know about, like, well, what happens if he overcomes adversity? It's it's not because he needed to, because to see that he could do it. He already knew he could do it.
Yeah.
He needed to show everybody else, like, hey, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you line him up and I'll beat it. He said it to me again. You
said it
line
to me
him
after too.
Yeah, you line him up, I'll put him down. And again, it's one thing in like boxing, you have these undefeated guys, they pick and choose and stuff. Cole makes he just works so hard. Anything can happen in those fights, but he's prepared for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So great preparation
Shout out.
reaps great rewards. And so
Yes, it does.
Cole Faust is I'll say it again. And if anybody has a name that they'd like to throw out there, I'd love to hear it. But Cole is pound for pound the best amateur fighter in the state of Utah, hands down, not even close.
I was trying to think of
the only other person that had a resume similar was Johan. And once
pro.
Johan went pro, it's Cole Faust all day, every day. Boom. He's the man.
Next up, Christian Cortez and Jordan Munoz. A little bit of controversy in this one.
Well, there's no controversy.
Not controversy. A little bit of a.
Here's the controversy.
Christian wins by round 2 triangle, arm triangle.
Well, it's like an arm bar.
Arm
it's
bar.
an arm bar from the triangle.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going off
right?
of it.
So here's the deal. Because I've watched it now. I missed it because I was back getting ready cornering Tyler, so I actually missed what happened. I thought that Jordan lost via DQ because he kicked him, and it wasn't. He tapped. He verbally tapped. So Jordan said that he verbally tapped like 4 or 5 times.
Yes.
And Dave and the ref didn't stop the fight. Well, what, Pat? What, you just gonna leave us hanging, dog?
Just leaving us hanging.
Send Pat an invite and just tell him to hop on the podcast.
Yeah, can we just send you an invite, Pat, and you just hop on with us and tell everybody?
Then don't say nothing at all, Rod. As Mama says. No, it sucks. 1, Jordan would admit he shouldn't have done that. And 2, I kind of agree where it's like, no, my job's to fight till the ref pulls me off, even off of a verbal tap. But maybe Dave has to take some responsibility there, is that maybe he didn't hear it or didn't get there quick enough. But again, I don't ref, so I'm not trying to criticize him, right? I'm not trying to criticize somebody that I don't do. And it gets loud in there. Maybe you can't always hear a verbal tap.
Yeah.
Mouth guard, maybe you don't know what he's saying. Maybe he's saying F you. I don't know.
First off, I don't want to take away from Christian's performance because he looked phenomenal. He came out through a sharp head kick right off the bat.
And handled it like a freaking champ.
I mean, he was freaking impressive. Like, he's going to be somebody to watch out for at 125 because he looked impressive. And I couldn't see. So I'm commentating and I saw the angle that the TV guy saw. I didn't have this angle. So all I could see was their feet. It didn't look like he had anything. It looked like Jordan was, when they kind of rolled off to that direction, it looked like there was nothing there that Jordan was going to be able to pull out. And all I saw, and me and LJ could see, was Jordan pump up, kick him. And I'm like, oh, no, we can't have that. But then I see Dave yelling at Christian. So I'm thinking, what did Christian do? I didn't realize that there was a tap. I didn't realize any of that. So I'm thinking, obviously, Jordan's upset, doesn't give him a right to kick him. He knows that. Anyways, long story short, Christian was super respectful afterwards. He apologized. Jordan thought that he held on to the submission a little bit too long. He was remorseful. I talked to him after the fight too. He was super remorseful. That's not characteristic of him. And Christian, same thing. He said the same thing in the cage.
We know Jordan's character. He's not a bad guy.
Yeah, and
not a bad guy.
And Christian was nothing but respectful. He was
handled it with
apologetic.
all class.
I've been seeing him posting on Facebook. The kid is nothing but class. So props to him. That was a big win. He comes in there and fights a guy with a lot more experience than him, and he gets the job done.
I will say, I don't think I would try to kick somebody in the leg or nuts or whatever. But if you do tap or trying to verbally tap,
yeah, maybe Jordan, maybe you didn't hear it.
Yeah, exactly, right. That's why I always say, like in the gym, like, don't tap the mat. Like, they don't know if you're tapping the mat. You have to tap them.
Yeah.
Or verbal or whatever. I will say this, though. I have had somebody hang on to a submission after the tap, And it's like, dude, it's competition and it's sport, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a gentleman's agreement there that's like, hey, bro, if I tap, like, dude, I'm done. But here's the other thing. We've seen it in the UFC where somebody taps, the ref misses it, the guy lets go of the choke, and then the guy keeps fighting.
Yeah, just happened not that long. Ed Herman fight. We just talked about
Ed Herman, yeah. Was it Alonzo Menfield?
No, it was he just fought last week, not last week, the weekend before. Anyways.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, you gotta be I can't blame Christian for not letting go till the ref the ref pulls him off.
I'm not in any place to criticize either one of those.
Doug's again.
I think what's that?
Post Doug's again. I didn't read that.
I think I'm not condoning what Jordan said, but I also don't know what was going through either one of those guys' mind. I mean, everybody from the outside chiming in saying this and that. It's like, these are two young kids in there.
You weren't in the cage, too.
You guys weren't in the cage. We weren't in the cage. All I know is both guys were super remorseful. It should be between those guys. And as far as I'm concerned, they squashed it, and it's all gravy. But
and I know it's 2021, and the favorite thing is to be offended for other people. But if Christian's cool with it and squash, then, like, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
You don't need to be offended for Christian if he's willing to say his piece and move on. Just let it go.
Yeah. He looked impressive. I'm excited. I want to see Christian back.
So there's these weight classes now. There's 125 is getting deeper and deeper. Dude, 170 is getting kind of deep.
The 125, you mean?
125 and 170.
Yeah, you're right. They're both.
They're getting kind of deep.
Yeah, they're getting really deep. Yeah.
Brendan and Russell Souza, and I'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to be pro way before they're coming up.
Next
or
up,
retired.
We have Tyler Billins and Juan Alcantar. Dude, the Carpenter. I'm just gonna start calling Juan the Carpenter after Clay Guida, because that guy was fired up. He was ready to go, bouncing around the cage. I loved his demeanor getting in there. Tyler comes in there, executed his game plan to a T. I don't even know what the game plan was, but I could see his movement. I could see the way he was more composed than his last fight. And I even said on the podcast, he's come miles from his last fight with the way that he performed in this fight. He won by second round arm triangle.
So Tyler literally, I felt like I was playing a video game. He literally did everything that we asked him in the corner to do. That's why I wasn't on the broadcast. I was in Tyler's corner for that fight. And I felt like I was playing a video game because he did everything that I asked him to do and that Aldo was telling him to do, and he freaking did it. And Tyler's another one. He's a lot like Ammon, where, you know, he's prepared and he does it. But Tyler is, I'll say this, he is my most reliable training partner. Megamind. We call him Megamind.
We said it on the broadcast too.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Good. Oh, good.
LJ said it on the broadcast.
Good. You could take that up with LJ then. Good luck with that. Tyler, he is one of my most reliable training partners. He trains hard. He doesn't take shortcuts. He shows up. He does the right things. He's teachable. He listens. Like, the only thing that he doesn't really do is when we're supposed to be like sparring like light, he just doesn't know how. But that's okay too, because he just trains hard.
Yeah,
and he's strong, and I know he did a lot of other extra work outside of the gym for this camp, which, you know, props, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't realize is that fights at 90% always. Yeah, right. It's like, hey, let's go 25, and Tyler would just be like, F it, let's go 100. No, I can't say enough good things about Tyler, and I'm so proud of him, because his last fight was a little bit frustrating because he had a guy that just kind of laid on him.
Yeah.
And he didn't really take any damage in that fight. He just got laid on the whole fight, which is super frustrating.
Yeah.
Juan, on the other hand, shout out Juan. One thing I really enjoyed with him is I'm cornering against him, but I'm like, man, he was just loose and having fun.
He was having so much fun. You could tell he was enjoying it.
That was cool. And Juan, I kind of follow you a little bit, and I know that you went through some personal stuff in the last week or two, and you know, props for just getting in there and doing it, because I think that there's a lot of guys, not that they should, but there's a lot of guys that pull out like that. And Yes, I do, George. Yes, I do. And yep, wrestling could just kick rocks. You know what? We should do an MMA promotion. No wrestling.
No
allowed.
wrestling.
Just jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu's okay, but no wrestling.
Well,
no. You have to either be trying to punch them or submit them, but you cannot lay on them.
You can't just lay on them. All right.
If you're laying on them for more than 5 to 10 seconds without advancing a position for a submission,
Then they should just stand it up. It might get to that.
Boo! Stand him up.
Kick him in your dick.
Twist his dick. No, yeah. So that was actually a really fun fight. But Tyler's gonna be. He's another 170er that. Hey, he's gonna be. He's gonna be. He was pissed that he was fighting so late at night. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
that sounds
good
lame.
fight.
It's freaking Mason, dude. He just lay on me. Mason.
Like,
that's all Mason does. Just lay on me.
Yeah, props to both those guys, man.
But yeah, Juan, props for showing up, fighting. You put on a good fight.
He did, man.
And
entertaining.
And he was fun. Dude, and I'll tell you what, he threw a spinning back fist that almost landed. And if it did, I was like, I was like, hey, Tyler, watch out for the spinning stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But sorry, Juan. Spoiler alert. I love to do spinning stuff. So Tyler sees it all the time.
He was ready for it. All right.
That was good, man. I'll tell you, that setup was nice. That was slick. He set that up really, really beautifully.
Next up, he had the SteelFist Fight Night Featherweight Championship with Dave Maggio and Zack Hamilton. I was really looking forward to this fight. Maggio coming in on short notice, but I talked to him before the fight. It wasn't really short notice for him because he had a fight scheduled for Fierce a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Down in Price, he ended up getting it. So he said it backstage. He's like, I stay ready. This isn't really a short notice fight for him.
The opponent was short notice, but fighting was not.
He was prepared, so he was ready.
And we said it. This is the guys that are always in the gym, right? There's two. I've noticed there's two types of fighters in MMA, especially on the amateur local scene.
Yeah,
the guys that are always in the gym, and then the guys that are only in the gym when they have a fight. You want to talk about the guys who had success, and even the ones that didn't. Bro, Cole Faust, always in the gym whether he has a fight or not, but it kind of seems like he always has a fight nowadays. I want Trap Roll.
There we go.
Okay,
let's do it.
Okay, and then I'm not matchmaking with Trap Gambino on our podcast right now.
All right,
but Rod, that would actually be fun.
I like that.
Here we go. Okay, Pat, set it up.
Come on, Pat.
Rod.
He said this earlier, but it's going to fit right now. He said it to something earlier.
Dude, I lost my train of thought. Oh, Cole Faust. Cole Faust is always in the gym. Tyler, always in the gym, whether he win or lose. Amagus Garcia, always in the gym, whether he has a fight or not. Like, I'm always in the gym, whether I have a fight scheduled or not. Like, there's those guys, and then there's those guys. Tyson Roberts, right? He's been coming in the gym a lot more regularly. AJ Garcia has been in the gym a lot more recently, and I can only speak to my gym. But then there are guys, and I'm not going to call them out by name, that only show up when they have a fight scheduled. You're not going to put yourself in the same opportunities, in the same situations that Dave Maggio did, and he might have been a little bit of an unknown. People maybe not totally knew who he was.
They don't know.
But they know now because he's the freaking featherweight champ for SteelFist. And you know what? He looked so calm. And for somebody to have that type of success on the ground against an Agima guy, big props, because Zack Hamilton's really good on the ground and his jiu-jitsu is good too.
This was a fight where Zack Hamilton, we know Zack Hamilton because he's been fighting recently. He's 3-0. He's taken a step up. Like this was a big step up in fight for him. This was Dave's 11th fight.
And no disrespect to his original opponent, I think Dave was a tougher fight than Austin for Zack.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
No disrespect to Austin. I'm not trying to say.
No.
I've called Austin's fights before too. I've been cage fights for him. I've watched him. I think Dave brought a certain skill set he was comfortable where Zack likes to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah. We had a little bit of fun before we, during the pre-fight thing. I had to go back there and talk to these guys and get a little more feedback for the broadcast, and we had a little fun on the broadcast about Dave submitting Johan Rubio over there at Horn's gym. That was kind of fun. There were some other things that they wanted me to say, but I couldn't say them live on air.
But can you say them now?
No, we're live on air.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
No, I definitely can't say it. We might get canceled, but it was pretty funny. Shout out to Dave, man. That was impressive.
And he says he's willing to defend it soon. So I hope to see him back in the SteelFist cage soon, defending that title. Because you know what, and here's another just truth of the matter. I don't think enough amateurs defend their titles. That's why, like, I don't just want to win a belt again. I want to win it and successfully defend it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I have this SteelFist, the 185 title right there, but I don't, because of the way things kind of shook out and then COVID and stuff, I didn't really get to defend it. So it's like that's what I have room to improve and like need to get better. But I love to see amateurs that want to defend their titles. Yeah. Johan was a great one. He defended his title a couple times. I like guys that defend titles, and like Cole Faust defending his title multiple times. I like that. I like too, just like winning a title and you're like, this is mine. You come to me. I'm not going to go chase a bunch of other promotions and go try and pick up other belts too.
I super impressed with Dave. And I know Zack will be back. We know he's down there training with killers.
Oh yeah, he'll be fine.
I messaged him a little bit afterwards.
Yeah,
he'll be back.
He's 3-1. He'll be fine. That kid's a killer.
Yeah,
he's a huge 145er, and he'll have success, dude. Zack's he's a monster, dude. He'll be back. He'll be just fine. He'll be better because of this loss. He's one of those guys where some guys go away early in the fight game. As soon as they come a little adverse, maybe not fighting's not for me, whatever. Yep. He'll be one of those that comes back better from a loss.
That's the difference in the guys that are at that top level versus the guys that don't make it to that top level that can overcome that adversity. And I think Zack's going to be, like you said, he's going to be that kid that'll overcome that.
Agreed.
Next up, we had the co-main event, SteelFist Fight Night Heavyweight Championship, and the place was on their edge of their seats for this fight. When Zeke Latu walked in the cage, and then Big Fiji walks in the cage. Two big heavyweight, like legit heavyweights. I think we called this fight of the night, and it was over with pretty quick.
As soon as I saw Fiji throw like a big, like wild punch, I was like, oh, somebody's about to go out quick. Like this isn't going to last more than, a few seconds, because they're so big that all it took was one.
Yeah.
And Zeke landed two. He hit him and then hit him again on the way down. And, Zeke, I don't know if there's another amateur that would even be like, yeah, let me fight that guy next. Dude, forget all that noise.
Not locally. I don't think there's any locally.
But I'd love to watch it.
Maybe there's an Idaho guy up there or a Vegas guy they can bring in.
Yeah, I just thought it was cool. And I love that, Fiji, I thought the ref did a good job. I thought Fiji did a good job of just being respectful after. Like it was all respect and it was all cool, just like we knew that they would be, and I just want to see both of them again. I don't know. There's not much to say, but I mean, like it was so intense.
Zeke is terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Fiji's terrifying.
They're both terrifying.
Like that's the difference between them.
The best part is I get a call from Fiji I didn't get home till about 1 a.m. I get a call and I'm like, why is he calling me? I'm like, hey man, is everything okay? Yeah, man. I just didn't get a chance to grab you. I just wanted to apologize for not being able to give you a shout out.
Yes, he's so
like what? Like you're worried about not giving me a shout out? Like
Fiji, go hang out with your beautiful wife, and you guys are about to have another baby, and like go do that. Yeah, let's do that. Sign that up. Sign that up. Hey, dude, Meek had a big KO.
He had a really big KO. 2 big KOs, Zeke and Meek. Ooh.
I'd watch the crap out of that.
There's Zeke Fiji, honestly, my favorite fighter I fought, hands down.
Right on.
I love the post afterwards or saying, hey, when you got 2 big polys biting down on their mouthpiece and throwing down,
that's what's going to happen.
They knew what was going to happen. The best part about it is they shake hands afterwards and it's all gravy.
They gave each other a big hug.
Yeah, it's like, man, who was I talking to?
Fiji was legitimately happy for Zeke.
I think I was talking to maybe it was Carly that was sitting next to me, and I'm like, this is just they do this every day anyways. Like this is part of their culture. They just fight each other and then they're good. I remember, because there was a little bit of high tensions in the audience afterwards. Some people had a little bit too much to drink.
Hey Zeke, you have to give a disclaimer to your fans before.
Just the one guy. But I remember working security at the club. You get some of these guys in there partying hard. I'm like, the security's not going to be able to stop that guy. You need to, hopefully there's an older cousin there or somebody there to grab that guy, which there was, and got him out of there. But
cool. No, but the security guy, he's like what, like 6'2"?
Oh, I'm looking over there. I'm like
60 pounds. I'm like, what's he gonna do?
I know. I'm looking over. I'm like, that guy's he's an idiot for trying to stop this.
Like what's he gonna do?
He's not doing anything. Yeah. Crazy. Oh yeah, and like Pat said, Zeke hadn't fought in a while. That's scary for the rest of you heavyweights out there. That is scary. That's
a big scary.
That is a big scary dude.
Nice man.
Scary nice. Man. I want him on my team.
My team.
Yeah.
Team damage plan.
All right. The main event, Michael Lasky and Blake Foster. Dude, it was fireworks. They both said it was going to be fireworks. They said there would be blood. I don't know if there was any blood, but somebody got knocked out.
Mike had a little bloody nose.
I will say this, and you and I, and you'll probably go into this a little bit more. I got to give Mike all the props in the world, man. To go up 2 weight classes, three weight classes. And I could see it in his body. Look, this is what I do. I do nutrition. I've done bodybuilding shows. It's not a healthy weight for him to be at, to get in there and fight another grown man that's used to walk around toward north of 280. And he cuts down. That was impressive with Mike to take that fight. I don't care about the experience at that point. It's like, you're legit fighting a bigger man. Like, and
there's weight classes for a reason.
Exactly.
And if it didn't matter, there wouldn't be.
And yeah, Pat just said Foster's a big look. I stood next to Foster. I'm 205, and he was way bigger than me. He had to have been 220.
Yeah,
easy walking into the cage.
I'll say this. It's hard. I'm trying to stay respectful.
Your face said it all in the post-fight interview, Zach.
I'm just trying to stay respectful. To act the way that Blake acted after winning by knockout, not my style. Guess what? If I knocked out a 135 pounder that was coming up to 170 to fight me, I wouldn't feel like that was a huge accomplishment. But then again, this isn't really Blake's world.
It's not really his world. It did. I mean,
he was good. By the way, good skill.
I was impressed.
Did a couple things that I was really impressed with. Good range control. I'm not trying to take away any of his fighting. Very smart when he was down on the ground. Mike was trying to regain his composure. Got up, stood him up. That was the 100% right thing to do, because I think Mike could have fished for and got a submission off of the ground there. So
yeah, we knew. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, he was on the podcast.
He had quite the martial arts background. He came on the podcast. He had an extensive martial arts background, and you could see that in the cage. You could see him.
So here, this guy right here, Barry Sanders, signed by Barry Sanders, greatest running back of all time. I learned a valuable lesson early on in my football career when I scored my first touchdown, and I freaked out and I was so excited. And my coach pulled me aside and he just said, "Act like you've been there before." Right. And I can give, yeah, right. I thought about that too, Dustin.
Jesse.
Yeah. I think that, he was just, and I mean, I get it. He's pumped. It's his first MMA fight. And I've been pumped after a finish too, but, there's this, there's sport with it. And then there's this, like I'll never forget it. One of the things everybody freaks out after they win. Like one person that always impressed me is when Zack Cavender knocked out Eric Hyman. Yeah. And he just very humbly just like dropped to his knees and just waited to see if Eric was okay. It's like, that's a guy that it's like, he's been there before. And, the guy, he's been told for months he doesn't have the skill. Pat, I get it, bro. I'm just saying, it just.
I don't know about that. He was pretty confident. He's been training with killers too. Like I think he knew what he was getting into.
He had a former UFC vet in his corner, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Like
he's been training with guys, and it's it's not like hey, there you go, Pat. George wants to fight in December, so there you go. It's dude. Props to. I'll give Blake all the credit in the world. He came to He came to Mike's hometown.
He got a bigger pop too.
He got it. He brought a crowd. He was composed in there. He did a lot of good things in the fight and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, I really don't care who, what, why, where. It's just, yeah. I don't. Not totally my style, but hey, good for Blake for getting the win. And I would just say this: Mike literally took this fight with everything to lose and not much to gain. Because if he wins, it's like, well, yeah, of course you beat the guy in his first fight on your 12th one.
Yeah,
like that wasn't a. Again, even though he was at the physical disadvantage, not the skill disadvantage, but the physical disadvantage. He in my eyes, he still was the one that stepped in there with everything to lose.
Yeah. And
I have my own feelings about Mike. I'll say this. He's always been nice to me. He's never been disrespectful to me, but it's some of the things and stuff that he does. I find it entertaining, but it's not always to my liking.
Yeah.
It's how he entertains and it's how he does things. He's a good martial artist. I've rolled with him. I've sparred with him a little bit. Like his resume speaks for itself, a 9-2 amateur record. For me though, it's just, it's like as a fighter to put on a fight, I wish he would have fought somebody at 170. The fight just didn't make any. If I'm Mike, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. But he wanted to do something for Power Rangers, and good for him. And he did it, and he faced the consequences. And
nothing to hang his head about.
He made a good TikTok about it though. He's like, yeah, losing sucks, but it's not worse than never trying anything ever. Yeah. So I mean, all the people that talk smack to him about losing, I think you're all pussies. So
once again, props to Blake. I didn't know how he was going to react once he stepped in the cage, but he looked comfortable. He looked like he'd been in there before.
He did a really good job.
He's big. He's strong.
I actually legitimately like to see him fight a real 205.
I would too. I really would too. I maybe not have his fans there anymore because they were the ones, in my opinion, that were needed to be checked more than he did, in my opinion, because they were a little unruly and a little bit disrespectful. Yeah.
I mean,
some of the stuff that was happening there.
There was some 205ers out there. That'd be a really interesting fight. Jesse Selman, like you said, or whatever. Or, Sepp,
maybe Sepp. Sepp's heavyweight. I guess they could be heavyweight. He could go up to heavyweight.
Blake could fight a heavyweight. Yeah. I think he'd be fine there.
Dude, all in all, what a fun night, man.
That was fun.
I have my voice from screaming. Thank you, Kevin and Pat, for allowing me to commentate. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. We love SteelFist, and it sounds like October card is about to get announced here soon, and it's gonna be a big one.
Get at us as soon as the card's announced, and you're going to be on there. Shoot us a message. If you don't hear from us, please shoot us a message. We've told you guys a million times on here. We can't reach out to everybody. We have day jobs we do, but we want to get everybody on there. Are we even going to talk about UFC?
We can. Can we talk about how I killed it with my picks?
You did kill it.
How I cashed on DraftKings?
I got to take a timeout because I just drank a Monster, so I got to pee.
How about Manis getting the win?
Do you want to go start?
Let's just.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
This freaking guy.
We just need a urinal inside of our.
We definitely don't need a urinal inside of our office. We start off the night. Hannah Goldie. We both nailed that one. She wins first round armbar. Man, our guy Gustavo Lopez gets a draw, unanimous decision draw. I got to go back and rewatch that fight. We missed it, but that was a bummer. I was wrong about Impa Kasanegan. He got knocked out by Carlston Harris. Good fight. Man, Erin Blanchfield. They were talking about the hype train. If she was really, if she should pull that type of hype. But man, 30-25, 30-25, 30-26. That is quite the resume there. For her to come in and get that dominant of a performance. Good for her. Montel Jackson, just like we said, that was lock of the night. Cruise past JP Buys. I mean, I thought it was kind of dirty what they did to JP Buys, giving him Montel Jackson before. I don't know what was up with that. Bad. I think personally, matchmaking wise, that didn't seem like a super fair fight. We were wrong about Brandon Jenkins. But he was an underdog. He was a short notice replacement. That was a high risk, high reward pick. I didn't say he'd win for sure. But Yeah.
Yeah, that was one we just took a stab at. I think the only one we were dead wrong on was Panny and Raquel Pennington.
Yeah.
We both thought Panny was gonna win that one.
Yeah. But, you know,
Close fight.
It was a close fight, and, it was 29-28. But then Tafon gets the win. We picked him. Buckley gets the knockout. Picked him. Manis gets the win. I picked him. You flip-flopped. Hello, Loserville. Amar, he did what he was supposed to do. Ragdolled him. Lipsky, just like we said it would. And then mine, Ian Kutalaba, breaks Devin Clark's teeth in.
If you haven't seen that picture on Instagram,
it's nasty.
Nasty.
Don't look if you're squeamish. And then last but not least, man, Zack Cavender tried to get me off their Anthony Smith train. I'm all in on Anthony Smith. You people keep doubting him, and people keep doubting Anthony Smith. He's elite. He's next level. Like, he is gatekeeper / might still be champion one day.
I love what he's been doing.
He's a freaking gangster. And Ryan Spann talking all that smack. When you talk that, guess what? Guy might stand over you after he submits you.
Hey, I love the post-fight interview. Smith was, he's fired up. He's in the moment,
Yeah.
I went through and watched another good night of fights, but it was this episode was all about SteelFist because it was so freaking fun.
It was so fun, but good job. Congratulations, SteelFist, putting on a great show. Congrats to everybody that won, and congrats even the guys that lost for getting in there and throwing down. And yes, Pat, I am fighting Marco Tony Rodriguez, whatever his name is. You can find him under both.
Zeke wants to get back into December's his B-Day month. Oh yeah. Get him back, Pat.
Yeah, October's my B-Day month, Zeke. I'll go for my B-Day. Mine's only like 2 days before that SteelFist card. What's up, big Fiji? Fiji, go hang out with your wife. Go eat some cheesecake with her, dog.
Cheesecake.
But
all right. Well,
that's it for the day.
Fiji wants anybody in December. Pat?
Meek.
Pat.
Meek.
Yeah, let's get Meek back down here.
Meek.
His name is Tony. Tony with an I.
Tony with an I. Okay. All right. Well, Tony with an I. I'll see you October 23rd.
We'll see you guys on Friday. We out.